Trucks Guts. G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Fred here from Clooney Garage, and in today's episode we're going to show you how to get prepared for the track for both the car and the driver to make sure your track day is a success. Alright, so we're heading off to our track day at Wakefield Park tomorrow, and I was just getting everything ready and packing tools and packing supplies and getting suits and all that sort of stuff ready. And I thought, why not create a video on this and share our experiences for everyone else who's doing their track day to make sure you don't miss anything and make sure your day's an enjoyable day. So it's quite a procedure, all the stuff you got to pack. And the balance is to make sure you're doing car and driver, because both of them go together. All right, so on our track day, we're actually taking the Hyundai Getz that we've turned into a fully fledged track weapon, 1.4 litres of goodness there. And we'll talk about excuses in a minute, because mental preparation and excuses is just as good as physical preparation and non-excuses. So first thing to do with your car is to make sure that your maintenance schedule is up to date. So we start left to right here. We've checked our power steering fluid. Now power steering is a notorious issue for cars that get tracked because they can, the fluid gets all hot, bubbles up, and particularly if you don't have a nice closing lid, we've got a brand new rubber seal on ours, so that is sorted. Check all your drive belts and make sure all those, we've just changed ours, they're all fresh and there's no excessive play in those ones, so that's all good. Coming this way across, check your oil. Perfect time to do it. We've just checked ours and ours is full as a gook, so we're happy with that. Radiator and engine coolant. So check your overflow. Frankie and I did that on the weekend. That's discoloured actually where that line says low. It's actually way up here. So we are ready to go. Got plenty of coolant on. Check your battery terminals and make sure that is there. You don't want these things earthing out and making an end to your day. And now's another good time just to check all your maintenance histories. Is it actually due for a cam belt? You know, and if it is, it might be too late, but at least you'll know. So we've still got a few more Ks to go with our timing belt, so we're all happy with that. And then check your air pressures. Now these are our roadies that we're driving in because we've got our slicks in the back, but you don't want to be going on the way to the track and actually have a flat as well. So check the tyre pressures on your tyres that you're actually driving to the track. And more importantly, make sure you've actually packed all your semi-slicks and don't leave them behind. And the final trap for young players is your semi-slicks will no doubt have different size wheel nuts. Make sure you've actually packed your wheel nuts, and that's our little bucket of goodness in there. Because you don't want to get to the track and, oh no, I've got the wheel nuts there at home. That would not be magic. Cool, on to the next step. So the car's ready. It's maintained, it's in tip-top working condition. That's great. Something will go wrong at the track, and that's where all these goodies will come in. So to start with, make sure you bring a low line jack. You know, you don't need to bring your big massive Goliath over there. Bring your low line one, particularly working under the small lower cars that have been lowered, that have got coilovers, such as our Getz. That's important. And invariably, you need a block of wood. We always bring that little railway sleeper with us, and bring some lightweight engines, stands as well. You never know when you might need them. From a tool perspective, you're not going to need to take everything. In fact, don't take everything. Grab a DAC and a spare battery. These are your most common metric size sockets that you'll need. Grab them. Don't need to grab the whole socket set and Mr. Sid Chrome, just grab a few. Invest in one of these little King Chrome little toolkits here. These are fantastic. They've got Torx attachments, Phillips, flat blade, all the Allen keys you need and more, and just a couple of other little doodads as well. And it's a super nice little tuck away container. Grab some zip ties. You will need zip ties. Something will come loose, and nothing better than a band-aid and a bit of plastic to tie it back together. A couple of different pliers, tire pressure gauge. You'll be using that all day, so buy a decent one. And from a fluids perspective, grab a bit more oil just in case. Definitely take some power steering fluid, and definitely take some coolant with you. You'll need coolant for your body, and we'll be going through 3 or 4 of those, me and Frankie. Grab your little bar. You might need some WD-40 for God knows what. Things might get a bit sticky out there, so that's all good. All right, so again, you don't need to take a huge amount, and make sure you've got a full tank of fuel before you go, and take 20 litres with you. Most tracks will have fuel as well, but it's pretty expensive because, you know, they have to try and stock the fuel and make a margin on it too. And always get fresh fuel. We're just going down to the servo. We've got a whole lot of 20 litres of 98. All good. The car's prepared. You've got some spares. Now let's talk about driver prep. Driver preparation comes in two flavours: physical protection and mental toughness. So we'll talk about both those. First of all, go and get yourself a decent racing suit. This is my karting suit that I wear for tracking as well. And it just gets me into the zone, makes me feel protected. And you got to have long sleeve and sort of tops and bottoms anyway. So I just wear my suit. That works for me. You can get fully fledged fireproof suits and all the rest of it, but that one works for me currently tracking. Go get some decent shoes. Now, don't wear sneakers with big ass, soles on them. The trick with track shoes is you got to be able to feel the pedals. So check those things out. And they're made from like a suede on top, super comfortable. But make sure you've also got your FIA fire rating as well. You don't want to get burnt feet. You don't want that. Ditto. Not only a balaclava to protect your head and all the rest of it in the case of a fire, but also stops your helmet getting all sweaty on the inside too. So I go through about 2 or 3 of those on a track day. Get some decent gloves. Now these are my karting gloves, so they're a bit, how you going? But Mrs. Fred bought me these beautiful ones for my birthday. Look at these. Oh my God, just so bored. Beautiful. So these are my dedicated track gloves. And then, yeah, they're just for illustration purposes. But you can get these. These are pretty good. I did 4 or 5 track days with those. And then go and get a decent helmet. You can get an open face helmet or, one. I use this for karting as well. So it's got the GoPro attachment on it. Plus I've got my Red Bull Stillo as well. So if you've got all that stuff, you're pretty well sorted. You might need like an undershirt underneath as well. But you get so hot tracking as well. Particularly when you got no air conditioning and all the weight taken out of your car and there's heat coming through the firewall like on our race cars. So at a minimum, this is what I recommend you take, and a spare set of undies. All right, when kitting your car out, this is the sort of stuff you got to start thinking about. Now, you don't have to do all this, but this is what Frankie and I have done. We've actually gotten dedicated race seats in, and you can swap your driver's passenger seats in and out and maintain your legality. Get some, in addition to your seatbelt, don't take your seatbelt out, but when you're actually on the track, you can use your harness, and that'll just hold you in like nobody's business, make you feel super safe, and make sure you've got your proper anchor points and stuff. The other thing, go and invest in a fire extinguisher. And if you can, get rid of anything flammable in the car. We've got no carpet, no underlining, no sound deadening, and we've actually tightened up our battery as well. And get rid of any other weight in the car as well. Frankie's done a good job. He's taken out the stereo because he doesn't like listening to music, so that's good. But the whole thing is, stuff that you don't need in the car, get that out of here. You don't need that. All good. So the car's mechanically prepared. You're physically prepared. Now you've got to get mentally prepared. And mental preparation comes in a number of different flavours. The first is, think about all the excuses why you haven't gone tracking before this opportunity. Think about all the excuses or the weaknesses of your car. This thing's slow. It's underpowered. It doesn't handle. It doesn't stop. I don't know the track. There's too many people out there. I couldn't get a good lap time. There was a safety car. Tracking is a perfect environment for all the perfect excuses. Your job is to mitigate those excuses with solutions. So Frankie and I, as an example, we know that this thing's underpowered. It's 70 kilowatts. And it probably pumps out a bit more than that now that we've tickled it. But we are not going to mention the lack of power tomorrow. We are going to talk about how good at corners, how good at grips, how our driving ability is getting the lap time. We are not going to fall into the excuse of perfect excuses. And so many people come off the track and they've got down in the dumps and they're looking on the ground and kicking the dirt and all the rest of it. It's an awesome day. A bad day at the track is an awesome day. But don't let perfect excuses ruin your day. The second thing is, get onto YouTube, visualize some people at the track, look at the lines and work out where you're going to position the car and visualize it. Frankie and I do this all the time. And in fact, sometimes, and I'll get to the spot here, sometimes you can actually visualize things too much and you can almost run up the back of a Mandalorian, right on the fishhook there. That's taking visualization too far, but that's all good. No, but what I'm trying to say here is use all the inputs you can and all the research you can to prepare yourself for that time at the track, and use it and maximize your time out there and have a ball doing so. Don't use it as a time to go out there and think about everything that was wrong. Think about the things that are right. All right, so we're going to get a super early night tonight because the other part of mental preparation is to be alert, not to have a headache, not to be thinking about other things, to have a big sleep, a nice meal the night before, and go up super fresh, and you're just going to attack that track and you're going to have an awesome time doing so. Don't do it for Dale, do it for Rocky, and we'll let you know how we go when we come back. We'll probably post a video on Thursday, Friday, and show you all the silliness of us taking the gets out for the first time. Thanks for watching.